Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk with Rags here in season 4, episode 9. And here tonight, we are joined here by three coaches that are definitely 757 natives here when they were playing, and they are giving back here to high school, middle school age baseball here up to. The side here in the second row here we have Cody Schneider that graduated from Hickory and played at Radford, and then underneath Cody is Kyle Butler, who graduated and played at Western Branch and played at Radford, and right underneath me is Matt Matthews, who graduated from Greenbrier Christian and played at Lynchburg and also coaching. So, how you doing? How you doing tonight, guys?
Good, man. Thanks for having us,
Oh, good,
Rags.
Rex.
Sure,
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
sure, no problem. Hey, let's start with you here, Cody. Just tell the listeners a little bit about your background here and what got you into coaching after you were done playing.
Yeah, man. First of all, thanks for having us, Rags. It's always fun to get on here and chat with you. But yeah, Cody Schneider was started playing out at SCAA out here, Southern Chesapeake. Dad got me in the game about 4 years old, playing t-ball and obviously all stars, all that stuff through SCAA. Then went on played at Hickory High School. Was able to win a state championship there. Had pre three pretty good varsity seasons. Then fortunate enough to go on and play some ball at Radford. Got to be teammates with Kyle, so that's cool. Cool full circle moment. Both being coaches in the area now. And now back in the game, here locally, coaching at Hickory High School and coaching, doing the showcase stuff for Five Star. So, like I said, happy to be here, but that's a little bit about me.
All right. All right. Well, thanks, Kyle. You're up. You're up next. You want to share with the listeners a little bit about your experience and what got you into coaching.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on, but pretty much the same as Cody. I grew up in Western Branch. I played for the Drillers for a while, ever since I was 9 years old, all the way up to 13. Went on to play for Western Branch and Rolling Right. Got to win a championship my senior year, which was really cool. We had a really good team. I think we had 9 D1 commits on one team, which was different. That's not normal for a high school team, but it was a good experience. I met a lot of my longtime friends there. Went on and played at Radford. Had a pretty good career. Played with Cody. Was fortunate enough to go to a regional 2 out of the 5 years, which was an awesome experience, and um, got to play 1 year of independent ball after I was done there. And just like a lot of former players, they stopped playing and like, man, I want to get back into the game. So started giving some lessons at a couple of the facilities around the area. Was with Coastal Sports Center for a while, and then recently started coaching the 13U Wahoos team when they approached Coastal and asked for some help, and I stuck with them and currently coaching them and helping Brian and Stratton a little bit, doing some outfield stuff and hitting, and yeah, just getting ready for the spring season for travel ball and giving lessons and watching college baseball start and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my story. And again, just this is a great area with baseball guys and baseball minds, so it's good to get everybody together and kind of pick each other's brains.
Right. And Matt, tell the listeners here about your story, where you played at growing up, and what got you into coaching.
Yeah, Rags. First of all, like Cody said, thanks for having me on. Always love getting together with baseball guys and talking a little baseball.
Right.
Grew up just like Cody did, played at SCAA in Chesapeake, played for Dad, and then Townie Townsend, luckily enough for me at the back end of his coaching career before he passed, I got to play for Townie on the Blasters teams. we actually the last year of him coaching before he passed on, and quick transition right over to Coach Lavelle. So I was really blessed with two brilliant baseball minds to grow up with and play for. Obviously went to Greenbrier Christian. We got a state title over there, and went on to college at Lynchburg. And Lynchburg was wonderful for me because it was my transition to coaching. I always had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to coach. Injuries created a quicker path to coaching than maybe I wanted at the time. Tommy John, labrum, knee started happening pretty quick for me to figure out that throwing the rock wasn't going to be happening too much longer. And I was blessed to have Percy Abel as my head coach at Lynchburg. He got me into the Beach League in South Carolina as an undergrad, as a head coach with a college summer team, and had to fib a little bit with the guys about my age and grow the beard out a little thicker to get by, but did that for 3 summers and had a blast. Thought about continuing towards the college path, and actually the Tidewater Drillers reached out to me in the winter and was like, hey, come and work with some of these kids. And I forgot about how much I love the kids game and how much more I think you have an impact. I think of that with the younger ages, and fell back in love with it, decided to go that route. A bunch of the guys that are playing for me now I've had since they were about 8, 9 years old. And we've continued to build it since then. I'm now with Showcase Baseball Academy, taking over the Mid-Atlantic 13U team. We got kids out of Maryland, Virginia, up and down the Mid-Atlantic area. And it's a lot of fun. Had a lot of success, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so, we'll start with you here on the second round of questions here, Matt. I mean, just there with the Showcase Baseball Academy and 13U. I mean, we're definitely at the start that probably here the first weekend of March here, you guys start playing, double headers, maybe even some tournaments here with having a middle school age team.
Yeah. So it's we're gonna have a really good season. We've got a pretty heavy schedule for the year. I think it's the last year of still being able to be super heavy until high school ball takes over. Actually got one of my 8th graders made his JV team today in Richmond. So that was pretty exciting for him. We'll be staying in the region for the most part. We're going to go to Maryland 2 or 3 times, play some perfect game tournaments up in Fredericksburg. Our big away tournament is going to be the TBR National Tournament in Dayton, Ohio this year. Pretty loaded lineup. It's been a lot of fun coaching them. Last summer, Cooperstown was our big launching point. We had a pretty good spring going into Cooperstown, and then running into a second-place finish at Cooperstown was huge for us. And then we kind of took off from there. Our fall, we were 23-2. Our 2 losses were against 2 14U teams up in Richmond. Had a really quality year and built off of that as well. Had a good recruiting winter, and the kids are really ready to go. Most of them are starting tryouts right now, if not in the next couple of weeks, especially at Virginia Beach. So a week or 2 away. And our first games will be in mid-March, and we'll go through the end of July, beginning of August.
All right, yeah, and Kyle, you're up next. I mean, with you coaching 13U team, I mean, you're similar to Matt here with your game schedule, double headers, some tournaments. Getting ready to start here with February going into March, right?
Yeah, we start a little bit earlier. I think we start next Sunday, actually. So first weekend in March. And we've been practicing 3 days a week, and the kids trying to get back into game shape, trying to get the pitcher's arms back ready to go, ready to, pitch enough innings that you need them to pitch. But yeah, it's been good. My experience has been a little bit different, with me taking over the Wahoos the last summer. They were a very rec-oriented organization, and they were looking to kind of step away from that. So they, were trying to go out and get somebody to take them out to, try to up their level a little bit and try to develop them at a different level. And it's been a good experience. I've had to really work and be patient with some guys, but some guys that we didn't think were going to take off or become players that they are now have kind of shown out and really shown us that, it's about the development and getting them with the right people and, showing them that baseball can be serious still at this age, right? So it's been good. Hopefully, we compete. We had a good fall too. We probably didn't play up to the competition level that SBA did, but we won 15 games. We were 15-5, so that's the most games they had ever won probably in a season or even two in a row. So it was good seeing them learn how to win and kind of understand the game a little bit better, right? A lot of that, rec stuff is, the lack of knowledge with the game, right? So just trying to teach them stuff they had never heard of, right? Base running and defensive plays and where to go with the ball and all that good stuff that we learn at a higher level. But yeah, it should be fun. I'm curious. It's, we're kind of gonna be surprised a little bit, right? We're gonna see where the season takes us, and hopefully we end up on some winning sides of the games, right? But yeah, we're starting in a week or so.
Yeah, and with your season, you pretty much go to what, end of July, beginning of August, right?
Yeah, some teams are different, but anywhere from late June to, like you said, early August. Just
Right.
depends.
Yeah, yeah, and Cody, I know that with you helping Hank out there at Hickory, and then your travel team there with Five Star pretty much doesn't get started till after high school's over, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, we're obviously we were in day 3 of high school tryouts today. Start being able to make some selections tonight. We got our first scrimmage Saturday versus Ocean Lakes out at their place. So, it'll be cold and windy. 2 years ago, it was snowing. Weekend after we got Kellum, then we got about 2 weeks off to get ready. And then we start up the season. We go right after playing some talented private schools with NSA and Cape Henry. So it'll be a test from the beginning for us. But yeah, busy all around. Five-star stuff. We're still doing, finishing up some winter academy stuff, Little Mafia, which is youth development. Really like our 7U prep guys. We're in the Virginia Beach Field House finishing that up. We got last 2 weeks of that. Our youth teams, like Matt said, they start up in March. They'll have a short spring season, and then I won't get our high school guys 15 to 17 till about June. High school season. I hope Hickory's still playing all the way to that first weekend of June. So that's my goal, but that's when we'll get those guys together. Usually we get them together a weekend or two in May. Around everybody's schedule, get them together, get on one of the high school fields we have access to, maybe do a little inter squad, see some guys, see what we got. But a lot going on for us, for me personally, with the high school stuff and balancing all that we got going on with Five Star. But, super exciting times. We got some super talented youth teams, as well as our high school guys. So looking forward to, all phases of it this year.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And Kyle here with this round of questioning. I mean, now with you being part of the Wahoos, I mean, does the 13U have their own group to fundraise? Because definitely playing competitive baseball and some out of town tournaments can be expensive here there from spring all the way through or from a fall all the way to a spring summer season.
Yeah, it seems like the rates are going up on everything, whether it's uniforms. I know the umpires' rates just went up a little bit. I was informed. So yeah, the dues have kind of increased a little bit. I know, at least for our team. So we're doing actually a fundraiser on Thursday. We've got Waterman's booked out for a night, and I think 33% of the sales are going to go back to the Wahoo's organization. So, that was kind of the easy way to do it. We had a golf tournament last year that was pretty successful. It's just, a lot, those fundraisers are a lot of work, right? It takes a lot of time and effort from certain parents and coaches, right? So, But yeah, ours is Thursday. We figure we keep it short and easy, and and I don't think you can go wrong with Waterman's, right? Good food, and hopefully we get a good crowd on a Thursday. But yeah, that's our deal. Hopefully we raise some money and make it easier to go to these places that we want to go to, and make it easier on the parents, because I know the parents have a lot going on too, right? It's like a full-time job just to keep them going to practice on time, and getting them where they need to get. So just trying to make it easy on everybody.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And Cody, I mean, they're with Five Stars. They're pretty much individual teams that raise money. There because definitely with playing tournaments there and there in the summer can definitely be expensive. So what does a Five Star do for fundraisers?
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. I mean, we kind of break it in half between the youth side and the high school guys. I can speak better on the high school guys, but the youth teams typically fundraise a little bit more. You got Cooperstown and some bigger travel experience tournaments, if you will, that take that extra mile of fundraising. I hate asking our high school parents to fundraise, but like Kyle was talking about, I mean, rags, everything's going up. I mean, from umpires to tournament fees. I mean, I'm allotted a tournament budget, and sometimes I look at that and I'm like, we need maybe one or two more events. This year, something cool we do is we usually cover our guys' PBR Scout Day. That we do every June. We wanted to add one more event, a team camp this summer. So, we just needed a little bit more money. So we'll do a March Madness bracket. I think each guy on the team only needs to sell 6 brackets. So yeah, I'm not going to ask these high school guys to go sell Krispy Kreme donuts or do a car wash. Something that's quick, easy, doesn't take, a lot of time or energy. Everybody can go sell 6, Super Bowl squares or 6, March Madness brackets. But yeah, I try to stay away from having to fundraise if we can. But I mean, if things don't stop, rising in price, something will have to change. We try to pride ourselves in not being, super expensive, getting the bang for your buck, if you will. We're not I think having a bigger name, and maybe Matt can talk about that too, is, everybody thinks you got this big national name, you're going to be so crazy expensive. And then, we get families over from some other organizations and they're like, what? That's it. So sometimes that's a nice feeling, but managing, all of that can be a little tricky sometimes.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And Matt, they're for your team. Does each team do their own fundraising, or is it under the organization heading there of SBA?
Yeah, so I'm probably the world's worst nightmare when it comes to fundraising right now, because I'm so aggressive with my schedule. I handle all of my team stuff myself with my assistant coaches, and I have 1 or 2 parents that might help me out a little bit. Coming off Cooperstown year, with how expensive Cooperstown is right now, everyone's fundraised out. Cooperstown was a job and a half to get us there the way we did. But our parents really get after it. They do a great job raising money. We keep our dues extremely cheap. Almost, just like Cody said, everyone kind of gets that conversation. They come to the tryout. They're like, okay, so how much is this? And it's really not much. And compared to a lot of the teams in the area, we do kind of choose what you like, right? If you are a parent that just wants to write a check and call it a day because you're blessed that way, go ahead. That's cool. If you don't feel like fundraising, that's fine with me. If you want to fundraise, let's do it. But we'll never turn a player away because of finances, right? We'll find a way to figure that out. I think that's one thing that with baseball becoming commercialized, especially with the size of some of the organizations and the national side of things, people get lost in that. They kind of get scared of it, and it scares some people away from some of the larger organizations. But the right coaches, I think, do it the right way and take care of the players. I'm not going to let people go out there and outraise me. That's kind of my motto. I think we did Super Bowl squares. We did 2 full sheets. I think I filled like 50-something squares by myself, or squares inside of the sheet. So, if we're going to go raise money, I'm going to go raise it with you right next to you. But on the flip side of that as well, it's a two-way street, right? If you want this level of what we're trying to do, it requires funds. As the guy said, it's not getting cheaper. I look at some of these tournament costs this year, and my eyes about popped out of my head. I mean, it's crazy what you will pay to go to an event. So, it does cost some money, but we find a way to keep it cheap for the parents.
Yeah, and Matt here with this round of questioning. I mean, season pretty much with travel, goes from like August to what, June or July. So when you're done with your summer schedule, then it's tryouts there for next year's team, right?
Yeah, 100%. The way that I like to look at it is the way Coach T did back in the day. You're in your spot every season. You go to the tryout. Everyone goes through it, whether you've been here for 5 years or you've been here for 5 weeks, or if it's your first time coming out to see us, right? I think that there's a little bit of earning it every year that's important to the kids. It teaches them a little bit of that humble attitude and ready to go to work and making sure that they stay where they need to stay. We typically do tryouts every season about 2-3 weeks after the summer ends, and we'll do one throughout the late fall, early winter. So yeah, we usually do 2 a year. After Cooperstown, we got a little bit of a shock with the kids that came out. We asked Virginia Wesleyan to have a tryout space out there for us for a day. They accommodated pretty well for us. And between the 13U and 14U team, there was over 60 kids that showed up from like 5 different states, and we were expecting 30-ish for 2 teams, and all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, they're coming out of the buses, but that was pretty interesting to see, but it stays pretty manageable.
Right. Yeah. And Kyle, what do are the Wahoos similar there with pretty much going from fall to summer, that pretty much tryouts there the following August here to get ready for next year's team?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same process. We're blessed with a really nice field. We get to play at Trant Field, which is Brian Stratton's field. So we have a good relationship with them. So we're able to hold multiple tryouts on multiple different days. So kind of how we've done it the past years, we'll have some guys out that come out for the first time, and if we like them, we'll keep them around for a couple weeks while we're adding more kids along the way. So that way, by the time we select our kids, we kind of know them on a personable level more, and we know a lot about them. We're not guessing as much as we know that they can have a role and they'll fit on our team. So same thing, a couple weeks after the season ends in the summer, and then in the wintertime, we did something a little different this year. We had guys come out and work out with us and we had a Wahoo challenge where we had a tough event every Monday. We do a strength training session, then do an event with the kids, and I feel like it helped with a bond and a chemistry on the team, and that can go a long way when things get tough during the season. But yeah, it's the crazy thing is the seasons seem like they get longer and longer every year, right? So you really have to manage the kids well and know like when it's time to throw in certain parts of the year, when it's time to do your weightlifting, your mobility, your all that stuff. If you just play 12 months a year, you run the risk of injury. So it's the managing side of their health and recovery is more important than it's ever been nowadays, right? So but yeah, the kids are definitely learning how to grind. I don't think that will ever be a problem as they get to the middle school and high school level. I think they know how to handle multiple practices a week on top of games, and working out, which is cool to see. They'll be prepared. Most of the organizations around here prepare them for what the ultimate goal is, right? Middle school, high school, and eventually on from there. So again, a lot of good organization and coaches in this area that that's why this area is known for producing players, right? So it's cool to see.
Yes, yeah, and Cody there with experience here with coaching. There on the with Five Star Mafia, is it pretty much where you have tryouts right before the fall, and then is it the same team when you guys get together there for the summer circuit also?
Yeah, I mean, similar combination of what both these guys said. I think we're all pretty similar. I mean, we typically run, two tryout sessions in a year. We'll do a winter that we just did, and probably run it on two separate weekends, and see what works best for certain players. And then the big one for us is usually summer. I think again, I can only speak better on our high school guys, but usually I think youth tryouts are like into July timeframe. My high school guys are still playing. They'll run two separate weekends, and similar to like Matt said, we make all of our guys, come to tryouts every year. Not anticipating or looking to add new players every year, but like Matt said, just give them that extra push. And it's good comparison, to be honest. Trust me, there's plenty of guys that look like Aaron Judge at tryouts, and you get them with the rest of your team, and you're like, is it going to be a good fit? So it's good for us to always have that scale, have our existing players around to kind of make those judgments. And then for our high school guys, we'll probably take 2.5 weeks off in August. This year will be a little different with our team being 2025s. It'll be, their last fall going into next fall. So, we'll probably just roll the same guys over and hopefully land any of our guys that are still uncommitted, find them the right home. So, as far as our younger, 26, 27 teams, they'll still be, having tryouts, same thing. Everybody will have to come to at least one tryout. And, I think that gives families and players, the right time to have tough conversations if they need to be had. As a player, as a family, not happy with their role on a team. As guys go from youth to high school, hey, maybe conversation of becoming a PO happens. It gives that grace period of being able to have conversations that most of the time you're not going to want to have in the middle of a season. But yeah, combination of what these guys said, I think, most organizations around are running tryouts around, the same 2.5, 3 weeks. You can be on Facebook on 757 baseball and see a matter of, 25 tryouts going on in a 2-week period. So,
yeah. Yeah. And, I guess I'm showing my age, but, even when the three of you, played high school baseball. I mean, Cody, you bringing up Facebook here in the area. I mean, just since you guys played, I mean, social media, has definitely been a great way to pass the word here for people trying to find a place for their child to play competitive baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start on this one if you guys don't mind, because I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Right.
I'm sure Kyle feels the same way, but if you go back in, let's say 2013, 2014, Twitter was a thing, right? But if the three of us were posting videos like kids do now, you'd be pretty joked on your team. It's like Twitter is the new recruiting circuit, and I get it, right? Like college coaches can be 1,000 places at one time, but I mean, social media has absolutely changed the game, changed recruiting, changed the way we help players get recruited. I believe Twitter is like a baseball, LinkedIn for the business world. It's incredible the connections you can make. But it's a double-edged sword. You have kids, comparing themselves to other players and seeing this guy commits here, and everybody wants that. When you make your commitment, you want that 24, 48 hours of being on top of Mount Everest, and rightfully deserved. Players deserve that, but it can be hard to manage that sometimes. I think there's some really good organizations out there like PBR. I'm a pro PBR guys. We're lucky here in the state of Virginia, Maryland, surrounding areas to have great presence of PBR. The guys that run it, Jason, Jerry, their staff are awesome. I think they do a tremendous job highlighting high school games, running scout days. Their sole reason is help exposure, help players get exposed, build profiles, get their metrics, get all of that put out on social media. They do a great job. You got other groups that do it too, but I think in this area, they're the top dog. But I mean, like you were saying, Rags, social media's come a long ways. You got a lot of recruiting experts that are on social media, doing calls and whatnot. So,
yeah, and Kyle, I mean, what have you seen here with to expand on what Cody was just saying here with social media and helping your players get better here with video and of their swing and pictures and everything.
Yeah, I think I liked his term, the double-edged sword, because the exposure part is at an all-time high, but exposure is only good if you're at the level that the exposure helps you, right? So like, guys that like when we played, some guys got looked past, right? Sometimes you just didn't get to play at that highest level just because you didn't get seen, right? It just happened that your team was somewhere else, a scout didn't see you or a college didn't see you, right? It was different. Like it put a heavier emphasis on being at the right tournaments and being with the right team, having a coach that had the most contacts. Right now, you can almost do it on your own, but I think, like you said, it's been overused because kids are now starting to think, well, if I just put my video out there, maybe I can go to UVA or, Virginia Tech, right? And, that's the opposite, right? There's a standard to everything, right? So I feel like it's good if you know how to use it and, it's the right timing, right? If your timing's bad, you can do more damage than you can good. So I feel like there needs to be, coaching involved on the social media side too, in regards to like how to use it, when to use it, what metrics to put up, right? And making sure you do it right so you don't harm yourself for the future. But again, it's a different world, and I think there's on the coaching side of college and pro, like there's less misses, which is kind of cool, right? Because I know I played with people that and coaches that would say, they missed on the players. They thought it was a different player because they saw him one time in a tournament for 30 minutes, right? And they kind of had to make a decision on the spot. But now I feel like, everything's more personable and more relationship style, and you almost know the person more when they're coming in, right? So whether that's skill level or, how they act on the field and off the field. So good and bad thing, like you said, again, you got to use it the right way.
Yeah, and Matt, there with your experience, just your take here on with your involvement in coaching and what you've seen with social media and video and around the game today.
Yeah, I think it's changed quite a bit. I think it's they hit on a lot of great points there. Preparing the kids, I think, is what we're really focusing on right now for that. What's appropriate to put out there? Why are we using this tool? How is it supposed to be used? It's not for hitting on your middle school girlfriend. It's for, if we're baseball serious, let's use this appropriately, and know that within the next year and a half for our 13-year-olds, as they go into the high school range and start really being serious about getting showcased, what they're doing is being looked at every time they're doing it, whether it's through the phone, whether they're putting together that video, they're putting together some of their highlights, what have you, whether they're starting to contact coaches. Being prepared to use it the right way, I think, is a big miss with a lot of players. You see guys get hurt by that. on the flip side of it, I think what Kyle just said is 100% right. A lot less misses in the game today because of the ability for coaches to be building those relationships or seeing more into the life of that player and what they're doing and how serious they are, more skill-related content, things like that. I think also the other big part of it that's important is that kids start to skew away from – this is such a social media, telephone, quick access, and quick result world that a lot of the kids today, they start to forget about the grades. They start to forget about those things because they're so attached to devices. And you see it with players as well. You know, they walk in the dugout and they've got their phone. Are they actually locked in? They're rolling into practice and they're with their buddies looking at videos. Are they actually ready to go? You know, what's happened during school? Are they locked into school or are they on their phone? So I think both sides of it, preparing them and understanding the consequences of using it wrong is a big part of it.
Yeah. Well, hey, and as we wrap up here, appreciate y'all's time. Kyle, here we'll start here with you on this final one. You know, just what's out there here to encourage the baseball player, because college started last weekend. High school here is starting here with tryouts, and then every age group is getting ready to start here around the corner. So just a couple of tidbits here to close this out here, and we'll start with you, Kyle, with out there for the listener to get better at the game of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways, you can go about it, but the first thing is, you got to put in your time outside of everything else, right? Whether it's with, parents or teammates or private coach, you've got to put more time than you actually think in if you really want to, get to that level that you want to play at. And then it's all about, the right connections and getting with the right coaches and finding a good fit on a team. Like, if you're really serious, right, you see so many times kids jumping around teams and, they can't find the right fit, right? You got to be able to, get with a guy that really understands you, whether that's your travel ball team coach or your private coach, trust in that person, and stay loyal, right? I mean, loyalty is kind of going down. So, just putting in the time, doing all the right stuff off the field, like Matt said, paying attention when you're at practice, not being at 5 different places at once, and really lock in on your 2 hours of practice and, do the best you can with your focus level and to your best ability to learn and to get better at your craft. Right. And that's pretty much it. Like you said, the social media side makes everybody want the quick way out, but nothing's changed from 10, 20, 30 years ago, right? You have to put in the time or, you're not going to get the shortcut. So, just enjoy it while you're doing it too, right? It goes by fast. So try to take it day by day and, learn something every day.
Right. Well, hey, thanks. And Cody, your final comments here with baseball season at just every level, get ready to put that gas pedal down and being baseball season full time. So any tidbits out there for, that you have for a baseball player here to get better here in this next season?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, picking up where Kyle left off, I think, number one for me is having fun. You got to have fun. It doesn't matter the level, 8U, 18U, college ball. I mean, the second you're done having fun is the second you're going to hang it up. I think all three of us know that, and go see games, players go see games. If you're a youth guy, go watch your local high school team this year. If you're a high school guy, I make all my guys, hey, you think you're a Division I baseball player? Hey, let's go watch CNU. Go watch CNU versus Salisbury in a weekend series over at CNU. Go see Wesleyan. They're still going to run dudes out of the pen, mid to low 90s. Go watch games. I think that is is so forgotten. Everybody, thinks they can go do something, but if you're a high school junior, senior, go watch a college game and say, hey, could I compete? Could I be in the lineup if I was on this team tomorrow? Keep working, I always try to tell myself and tell our players, be 1% better every day. If you don't have a throwing partner, if it's you don't have access to go hit, you don't do something else. Go for a run. Takes nothing to knock out some push-ups and sit-ups. Go for a run. Work on getting bigger, stronger, faster. I mean, we're very lucky the growth that the game's taken on the last couple of years in this area. Get in the gym. We talked to a lot of college coaches, and almost 9 out of 10 times the feedback is, hey, they just need to get bigger, stronger, faster. Like he's a high follow. They need to put on some weight, live in the weight room. We're very lucky with Chase and Kyle and the guys over at BFP, Beach Fitness and Performance. Love those guys. They've done a lot for us, and working with our youth players to my high school guys to a lot of high school programs in the area. Players, go take advantage of that. They're awesome baseball minds that are there to help you. Surround yourself around good people that you trust, and I tell all our guys and my high school guys, you control everything 2 days, or you control 2 things every day. That's your effort and your attitude. Nobody can, take those 2 things away from you, and, make a plan, follow the plan, trust the plan. But that's it for me, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks. And Matt, here for your final comments here with baseball players listening to this, and just every level about ready to be their regular season here full time. So any last minute comments?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having everyone on here tonight. It's been awesome to talk about everything with youth players and guys going to the high school level. People can't forget baseball is a game of failure. Fail forward, figure out how you're going to fail forward. Learn what you're doing, right? As the guys have already said, as you grow to love the game, you grow to have a passion for working at it. The level of what you put in is what you're going to get out, and there is no sugarcoating that in this game. Your athleticism only takes you so far, so you've got to be willing to put the work in. Another thing Cody said, go watch baseball. Go learn the game. Go see guys. Have a realistic depiction of where you are right now and try to figure out where you're trying to go to. There are a lot of guys, they're talking about the SEC, Big Ten, what have you, or even with high school ball. I want to be a sophomore starter, right? Let's go take a look at the high school program. Let's see what's coming through. What do you need to be? And then the other big thing is, and I'm a huge stressor on this, academics. Do not let your academics go away just because you want to play baseball as much as possible. There's not many Bryce Harpers of the world, right? There's not many of those guys out there. There's something different about that 1% of the 1%. There's nothing wrong with being a really good baseball player and a really good student and getting the most you can out of this game for the rest of your life. That gets missed. I think too often people really focus on just how good of an athlete can I be. But your grades will take you further than baseball will in a lot of cases. More players will get there because of their grades, because someone didn't have the grades. If I'm pretty close as a player and the grades are there, coaches are going to go after you, right? They need to make sure their GPAs stay up. So that's really important as well. But, get after it. Don't be afraid of failing and figure out really where you are and where you want to be.
Yeah. Well, hey, appreciate y'all's time. And I know, my wife and I, through our nephew, Colin, just got to meet each one of you here as you guys were playing, and now seeing you guys, give back here to the community and coach here these the next generation of ball players. Just great to see, and appreciate y'all's time for coming on and being on this episode. So thanks again, and to each of you guys. Hope your team has a great season, and see you at the ball field.
Thanks, Rags.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, Rex. Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Good seeing y'all.
All right.